Hi guys, it's your girl Princess Lila Emma. So today I'm bringing to you my redemption story, the story of my redemption when it comes to school. Okay, I hope you've been following my graduation series, and I decided to do it this week of my graduation because I've come a long way, right? I've come a long way. I've come a long way from FDs and FEs and being back to school. So my redemption story starts in 2017 when I go back to school to complete my studies. I had previously mentioned that I tried to change courses. It didn't work out well. I dismally failed in the courses that I tried to change to, and now I am back with a bang to the course that I had been initially accepted into the university for, the one that I had FD'd in, the one that I had FE'd in, and it is years later. My group graduated in 2 years ago, so I'm with people who are 2 years my junior. So I'm starting with a group that actually started the year that my peers were graduating. Oh, what are the odds? So I'm starting back into my second year, first semester, and yeah, like I mentioned, I failed one course, passed two, proceeded to the next semester, registered for 6 courses, and I was now starting to find my ground in terms of studying and preparing for exams. It wasn't easy, but in the same time, it wasn't as shameful and hurtful as before. I can say, coping. I wasn't living it, but I was coping. I was there. I didn't make any new friends during this time. And when I went back, my friend Beo was also doing her postgraduate studies, her postgraduate, and I had her to hang out with, so I would hang out with her time and again. And yeah, I didn't really need friends. And then the following year after, and then I did make a friend. I made Taone as my friend. So I had Beo, I had Taone, which was quite good. And then the following year, Beo completed obviously, and then Bukamuso came in to also do her postgraduate studies, who's also my friend. So I had her. I used to hang out in her room, and it was comforting. Oh, also when I started, there was Beo, there was also Lame, my other friend. Remember Lame, who gave me her job graciously? So I forgot to thank Lami in the previous video when I was just saying my thank yous. And if I didn't mention your name, it's not that I think less of you or think less of your help. Like I said, I'm saying this as how I remember it, okay? And sometimes, obviously, when you're saying events, not that it's not important, but you can forget. It is allowed. So yeah, Lami was also there. She was also doing her masters, and yeah, I had Lami, I had Beo, and then I had Taone. And then moving on to the following year when Beo was gone, Bukamso came in, and so I had Bukamso, I had Taone. The following year, they both graduated. No, actually, yeah, oh yeah, Taone did graduate, and Bukamso did graduate, postgraduate, and Taone was done, and then she was just there for a year. Actually, Taone, I think, graduated the same time with Beo. Let me not mistake things, yeah. So Taone was gone with Beo, and then I was there with Bukamo, saw all to myself. Then the following year, Taone came back for postgraduate. Remember, I was doing second year the first time around. Then I was doing second year, then I was doing third year, and then I was doing fourth year. Still didn't make any friends, but there were people in the course that I could study with, that I could be with. a beautiful story of redemption. I met some amazing people along the way. It was just beautiful. I feel like I was going on about people, but this story is not about people, trust me. So, yeah, I must mention that I had an amazing time. I was back in school. I was, progressing each semester. I was passing all my courses, and my hubby, my partner at the time, who's now my hubby, used to say to me, you're going to make it. You're really going to make it. So in the end, in 2020, 9 years later, after I had been enrolled into the university, I finally graduated my undergraduate studies, and I was given my Bachelor of Arts degree. Yay! That was beautiful, but I'm graduating and it's smack in the middle of COVID, so there was no graduation. We were the first group that had no graduation. We were not graduating. There was a ceremony that was both live online, and it was also aired on my local television, BTV. Yeah, so I just watched it on BTV. It was a very short ceremony. I think it lasted all of 30 minutes. It was very short. The list of our names came up there, and I took a bow. I made it. It was just beautiful. It was amazing. I remember at the time, people were sharing with me their photos, their graduation photos in their houses. It wasn't locked down, so I had an entire photo shoot, and other people in their own regards, wherever they were, had their photo shoots, and we were sharing these moments. It was just a beautiful moment. And then my family threw me a graduation party. That was a beautiful surprise. I had an amazing time at my graduation party. It was just so beautiful. Oh my goodness, it was just so beautiful. 2020, and then I went back. I had quit my job to focus on my studies. Then I went back to the same job that I was working at, and yeah, I just continued working there, but after a year, it wasn't serving me anymore, I can say. I quit again, and I went to a whole different job. I applied and went to a whole different job, and right in the middle of that job, applied back to do my postgraduate studies, postgraduate diploma in education. This is an education degree. If you've done my course, you can offer teaching, but since you didn't study education, or you are not allowed to teach, you don't have a teaching certificate. So I went and applied for my diploma. I got accepted for my diploma, and 2021 I started my diploma journey, and it was a beautiful healing experience. I'm glad that I went for it. At the time that I went for it, I wanted to do it immediately after I completed my undergrad in 2020, but unfortunately I tried to apply and it was already too late, sort of thing. So I went in this time, and the whole course was online. I don't even know 90% of my classmates. People that I know are people that I met during undergrad years. Oh my goodness, this journey was a roller coaster of emotions. First of all, I was self-sponsored. Our group, unfortunately, couldn't get a scholarship for postgraduate diploma. So we were all self-sponsored, and self-sponsoring it's traumatic. I quit my job again just to focus on my studies. I was tutoring full time, so I sort of had an allowance from my tutoring gig. But self-sponsoring, it eats away from your family finances. And by this time that I'm going back to my postgraduate, I'm married. My partner of 8 years. My partner of 8. Oh, it was not. No, 8 years when I started PGD last year. It was 8 years. When we are talking about our love story, the breakup is part of our love story, so we include the year of the breakup in our love story. So we don't really say, and then we broke up for a year. No, it's included because we were friends during that time, and I believe this is the time. That was the time that our relationship got established as well. Okay, I'm rambling on about. So yeah, I'm married. I got married the same year of my undergraduate graduation. Yeah, so I'm back. So I felt like this is the eating away at our family finances. This cost was 36,000 for the whole year. 36,000 a year. So imagine 36,000 split into 12, because we made a monthly payment plan that we were paying the university. So there was a lot of contemplation on my part on that end, but my husband is really supportive, and I thank you for this, baby, for pushing me. He was really reassuring me that, what, we will make it. Sometimes I didn't have money to do my nails, and those were the sort of things that would be stressing me during my PGDE time. Sometimes I would just feel like our financial situation was stuck. We were not where I would like us to be. But looking back at it now, I'm at a place where I appreciate where we are financially, because instead of looking at me paying for my studies, I looked at as an investment, So I'm able to forfeit certain luxuries and pleasures in life because of this great investment, right? And then came the depression first semester of my postgraduate studies, because what happened the first time, I didn't understand this particular course. I really didn't understand it. Did not understand it. So that sort of brought me into a depression, and then I had fear, a lot of fear of failure. I felt like, oh my goodness, what if I fail again? This time I'm going to disappoint and embarrass my husband. So there was a lot of self-condemnation again that started, and there was just so much fear. I had months of sleepless nights. This time, it really challenged even our intimacy in the bedroom. Because I was depressed. I was always fearful. There was always this cloud of judgment in my heart and in my headspace that I couldn't bring myself to be intimate. So at that time, we would be like a month without being intimate, because I just couldn't bring myself to it. Okay. I think I'm judging us because we are people who go every day being intimate. Okay. So it was a dramatic shift, but we're okay now. Now we're up there together. I was just going on about things that I shouldn't be going on about. Okay. So I'm doing my PGDE, and then I fall into this depression again, and then I just started being so afraid, so afraid. We get into the second semester. I'm feeling much better. February comes. I write test 1 of this particular course. I fail it. This threw me off. I was depressed the whole entire semester. This is me. I carry stress, which is so bad. I shouldn't be doing that. But I'm also glad that I went through that, because now I see that I cope with stress differently. I was so sad. I felt like I'm going to fail. I felt like a failure. The shame was on me again. and I just wasn't concentrating. I started withdrawing again from, I had met people in the university that, we had formed a friendship group. Yeah, we were studying together, but I withdrew from this friendship group, and I was just in my feelings because of this one course. And then fast forward, exams come, I pass, and I'm graduating again. I'm having my second graduation. This is my redemption story. This goes to show you how much my God is a redeemer. We serve a God who redeems, a God of the breakthrough, Jehovah Jireh, my provider. He was with me through this entire year. He helped me to learn myself, to appreciate myself. Right now, I'm in a better place than I was last year this time. Even during my teaching practice, I went to this amazing school. I met the most amazing colleagues. Oh my goodness, I even made a post about this. I said, last year this time, I was at a job that I hated in a toxic environment. But this year, I am in a beautiful working environment. And Westwood community, I will forever cherish you for what you did for me, for how you carried me through this time. Now, I was depressed a bit during my Westwood teaching practice because of the results. The results came out sometime during teaching practice, and I hadn't quite performed as I had expected in terms of GPA. I had passed all my courses, but my GPA wasn't quite up there. I'm not graduating with a distinction as I had thought that I would. But then, and that threw me off. That put me into the greatest depression. I had a conversation with my friend Ludo the other day, whom I also cherished during this time and period of my studies, because she has been my prayer partner. Remember my story of redemption, how I dedicated my life to Christ in 2012, and I met amazing friends Ludo and Laune, who have been my prayer partners ever since then. So the other day I was having a conversation with Ludo, and she said, when you're in tertiary, because she's also pursuing her postgraduate studies, not in education, just a whole different thing. So she was like, I get to appreciate that when we are from our senior secondary school, we have passed with flying colors. We get into university, and we come into the university with this mentality that we are really smart human beings, and then we fail to accept that as you grow, your mind, your brain, and your thinking, thought processes, the way you're processing even education changes. We don't appreciate this about ourselves. And she was telling me that she's coming to appreciate and be content with passing, just getting a pass. And this is what I've gotten right now, a pass. I'm graduating with a pass. And until I had this conversation with her, there was a lot of condemnation on my end, especially because my friends from the university group are all graduating with distinctions, and my friends who have done this course graduated with distinctions, and I'm just graduating with a mere pass. But this conversation with my friend and my prayer partner Ludo liberated me, in the sense that I got to appreciate that, what, I am different, and I have to be content and okay with my past. It doesn't take away from my graduation. It doesn't take away from my story. I have passed and I've made it. And this time I have passed on time. And this is the thing again about trauma. You are there. This is a celebratory moment. This is a time for me to be happy. And then this thing comes up, which takes away the joy from my redemption story, which takes away the joy and the beauty from my graduation. You're graduating with a pass. It's not a graduation. It's not a But you know what? This is a graduation. I have made it. I have made it. I'm graduating with a GPA more than my undergraduate GPA, more than what I had gotten. From my undergrad, it was a low class pass, but this time it's an upper class pass. But that's not the case. The case is, Mama, I have made it. The case is, this time I'm graduating on record time. This time I have made it on time. Unlike graduating 5 years after the time that I was supposed to graduate. 9 years after I've been in that university. That was for my undergrad. So for this time, for my postgraduate diploma, I've made it and it's on time. I've made it and here I am. This is not the end of my story. This is just the beginning. After I completed my PGDE and I enrolled now into a master's degree program. So I'm a girl, who is now pursuing her master's degree. And again, I attribute this to my partner and my husband. You are such an amazing human being. Thanks for pushing me. I applied for my master's the last day that they were closing for applications, because I was like, oh my goodness. I remember at that time I was still depressed after receiving my post-grad results. So I just pushed myself and I applied. So this is just so beautiful. I'm so grateful. And also for my friend Lesedi, who's my newest friend and prayer partner, who also pushed me to apply for my master's, who did the research for me. She helped me apply. She helped me, you have to write like a whole entire motivation letter. She helped me with that, calling friends and people that she knew who had pursued the course. It's just beautiful how God is redeeming me in this particular way in my studies. A certain part of my life was my identity was rooted on my failure in school, but now that is all behind me. My identity, that is not who I am. My story doesn't end with the girl who failed. My story will end with the girl, a Han with a PhD, a Han who's a doctor, And it doesn't matter the timeline. This is what my story has taught me. It doesn't matter how long you take to get the qualification, as long as you've got it. It doesn't matter how long. This is, when people say it doesn't matter when you get married, it doesn't matter when you have kids, it doesn't matter when you graduate. I never used to apply that to my life. I used to be of this persona whereby I'm like, no, I want to be on record time. But you know what? I am content with finishing. I am content with completing my race, the way that I will complete it. This time, I've already started my master's. I'm already in it. I'm in school right now. I'm a full-time student, and this time I'm content. I'm a full-time self-sponsored student, and I'm quite happy. I'm happy with the finances of our family. I'm content. I do my own nails. I do my own makeup. I wish I could do my own hair, but no, child. No. So I'm content in just making life and figuring out life in where I am right now, because in most situations of our journey, we fail to make life the most of where we are, So this is an encouragement during your fail and discontinue. Like I said, I volunteered into different organizations. What I also didn't mention is I volunteered into a lot of organizations. For a time, I also even once was a babysitter, That just goes to how, don't just sit, because sitting increases your level of anxiety, your level of stress. So in those seasons, like I said, it was during my FE, it was a time where I was in church, I was dedicated, I was serving in ministry. So, I encourage you to do all those things. Don't just sit, do something, work, cultivate, sow, into the life that you want to do. And hence why I also am doing this YouTube channel. It is me living my journey on a regular basis. It is me doing this for myself, coming out, in me doing this graduation story series. It is me saying I did it. It is me sending out an encouragement to everybody out there that you too can make it past the fail and discontinue, past a fail and exclude. You can stay away from your university for 4 years. You can even change your course and excel in this new course that you're doing. I have a friend who changed her course 3 times. She is excelling in this 4th course that she's doing. She's even graduating next year, So this is just beautiful. It is an encouragement to you, lean and trust on God. He's our Savior. He neither leaves us, He will never forsake us. So learn to rely on God. I'm so grateful, most of all and importantly, to God. Holy Spirit, I recognize you. During this time, I like to tell my family and my friends that I kept sane. There were times that I literally should have lost my mind, but I kept sane. I was sane through it all, and it can only be through the help of the Holy Spirit. Jesus, I recognize you. I recognize the works that you've done for me, what you did for me in Calvary, what you did for me by rising up, by ascending and leaving me the Holy Spirit. God, oh my goodness, I owe you my entire life. This is why I'm sold out and living for Christ. Now, this is my story of redemption. I've been redeemed by Christ in this regard. Your story doesn't have to end with failure. You can reroute, you can change the narrative of your story. Going through a divorce, you can change, be a divorced hun. Get married, not get married. It is up to you to write your story. This is what I'm saying. It is up to you to write your story. Before I close, I'd like to say this. I have always wanted to be a psychologist, and I just made that my whole entire life. And then for doing my master's right now, I purely and wanted to pursue a master's in occupational psychology, but it wasn't offered in my university, and I wasn't finding scholarships outside, and studying outside could have been more expensive for us. So I just did a whole entire different master's program, which I am loving and I am enjoying. So you can rewrite your story to mean it what you want to make it. I believe I'm a therapist, I am a counselor, and I believe that, I wanted to help people in the workspaces, in the work industry, and with my master's, I believe that I can still do this, So I'm doing something in alignment with what I had wanted to do initially. It's not the thing that I wanted to do, but it is in alignment with what I wanted to do initially. So this is still beautiful. I'm enjoying the course. I've already made some new people, some new friends from this particular course, and I'm just loving it. We're here, we're thriving, we are hands with master's degrees. So I'll be graduating my master's degree in 2024. Couldn't be more elated. I'm super happy and I'm super excited for this new adventure. I'm also job seeking. I'm seeking for employment. I'm currently unemployed and I am seeking. Also, this was part of my stress during my postgraduate diploma. It was part of my biggest stress. But through this YouTube channel, this is me finding employment, finding myself to be engaged, So thank you guys for watching. The next video is going to be my graduation vlog. I hope you enjoy that, and thanks for tuning in. Please leave some comments, share, like, give it a thumbs up. I really hope you enjoyed my graduation series, and I hope you'll enjoy my graduation, my postgraduate diploma in education graduation vlog. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Until next time, I love you. It's your girl, Princess Lily. I'm signing out, baby.